Welcome to this series on Shandudasphere, the educational and exam preparation hub. Wish you the best on your hunt for a satisfying government dream job through successful appearance in the SSC CGL Tier I exam. This is a curated model paper for practice for the upcoming SSC CGL Tier I 2026 exam.
Thank you. Yeah, it is honestly an absolute marathon of a paper.
Yeah.
We're talking 100 questions across 4 totally distinct disciplines.
Right, and here's the reality of the situation for everyone listening. You have exactly 1 hour, 60 minutes.
Which is brutal.
It really is. If you break that down mathematically, that gives you precisely 36 seconds per question. Think about that. 36 seconds to read a complex logic puzzle, spot whatever trap they've laid out for you, calculate the actual answer, and mark it. So today for our deep dive, we aren't just giving you the answers to Model Paper 06. We are, hacking the psychology of the exam itself, going sequentially through every single question so you can see the matrix.
Exactly. And time management is your first and most vital strategy here. The overarching challenge isn't just knowing the facts, it's triage.
Triage, like in an emergency room.
Yeah, exactly like that. Every correct answer gets you 2 positive marks, but we absolutely cannot ignore the negative marking of 0.5. If you let your ego take over and spend 3 minutes fighting a single geometry problem, you might get it right, but you'll miss 5 easy questions at the end of the paper.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because you just run out of time. So what if I just guess?
Blind guessing destroys your score.
Right.
You just can't do it. You have to learn to skip the quicksand and secure the easy points first. We need to keep that smooth, teacher-like focus as we go through this.
Okay, let's unpack this and jump right into the fire. Section A is General Intelligence and Reasoning. 25 questions, 50 marks. What is the mindset you need here?
So the advisory for reasoning is pretty straightforward. This is purely about pattern recognition. Do not overthink the scenarios and do not bring outside world complexity into the test.
Keep it simple.
Right. You are looking for the simplest, most direct logical link. The test makers are usually testing one singular, clear relationship per question.
Okay, let's see how that works in practice with our analogies. Question 1 asks you to select the option related to the third word in the same way as the second is related to the first. The prompt is knife relates to cut, as broom relates to what? The options are A, sweep, B, clean, C, dust, D, floor. Now, if I'm rushing, I might see broom and think of a floor or think about cleaning a house.
And that's the associative trap. Your brain is jumping to related concepts rather than the structural relationship. You have to isolate the logic of the first pair.
Okay, so a knife is a tool.
Right, and what is its singular primary mechanical function? To cut. Therefore, we have a tool to primary function relationship. Now look at a broom. Yes, it cleans, and yes, it's used on a floor, but its specific mechanical function as a tool is to sweep.
Oh, I see. So option A, sweep, is the correct and most precise logical answer.
Exactly. That structural thinking is key. Let's look at question 2. Fish is to water, as camel is to what? The distractors here are A, desert, B, forest, C, river, D, mountain.
Now, I know camels are tough. If you put a camel in a forest, it could probably walk through it. Why can't I pick forest?
Because you're testing for possibility instead of identifying the primary defining relationship. A fish is a biological creature, and water is the primary natural habitat required for its survival.
Evolutionary adaptation.
Exactly. A camel is a creature whose entire biology, its humps for fat storage, its wide hooves, is evolutionarily adapted for its primary natural habitat, which is the desert. The rule is creature to primary natural evolutionary habitat. Therefore, option A, desert, is the only answer that satisfies the established logic.
Makes total sense. We shift gears into numbers for question 3. We need to complete the analogy. 7 is to 343, as 4 is to what? Options are A64, B16, C48, D81. Immediately, my brain sees 7 and 343. And because I've done a bit of math, I recognize that 343 is 7 times 7 times 7. It's 7 cubed.
Yes, and the fact that you saw that instantly is the key to this exam. You identified the mathematical relationship. X is to x cubed.
So I just apply that to the 4.
You simply apply that same rigid rule to the second part. 4 cubed means 4 multiplied by 4, which is 16, multiplied by 4 again, which gives you 64. Option A is the answer.
Wow, so knowing those cubes off the top of your head is huge.
It's why rote memorization is actually a weapon on this test. If you have to calculate 7 cubed by hand during the exam, you've just lost 20 seconds.
Speaking of memorization, look at question 4. 14 is to 196, as 13 is to what? Options are A169, B182, C156, D144. Now, if my brain is still stuck on the cube pattern from the last question, I might panic here because 14 cubed is a massive number.
That is a very common cognitive trap. The brain carries the previous rule forward. You have to reset for every question. The relationship here has shifted down a dimension. 14 squared, 14 times 14 is 196.
So the rule is x is to x squared.
Right. Apply that to 13. 13 squared is 169. Option A. My strongest advice to anyone listening is that before you walk into that exam room, have your squares memorized up to 30 and your cubes memorized up to 15. It will literally buy you minutes of extra time.
Okay, let's apply that pattern recognition to the alphabet. Question 5. ACE relates to BDF as GIK relates to what? Options are AHJL, BHIK, CGHJ, DHKL. How do I solve this without getting my letters scrambles in my head?
Well, visualizing it in your mind is risky under pressure. When the exam begins, quickly jot down the alphabet on your scratch paper. Now, trace the shift. From A to D is a shift forward of one letter. From C to D is +1. From E to F is +1.
So the underlying mechanism is just a uniform +1 shift across the entire cluster.
You got it. Take the target, GIK. G +1 is H. I +1 is JK, +1 is L. You land perfectly on HJL, which is option A.
Awesome. Moving into classification, question 6 asks us to select the odd one out. The options are A, lion, B, tiger, C, leopard, D, cow. This feels almost too simple. Is there a trick?
It is simple, but you must articulate exactly why it's simple to ensure you aren't falling for a subtle trap. This tests biological categorization. Look at the first three, lions, tigers, and leopards. They share multiple overlapping categories. They're wild animals, they are strictly carnivorous, and they belong to the feline family.
Okay, and then look at a cow. It is a domesticated animal, it is a herbivore, and it's a bovine.
Right. It fails to meet any of the shared criteria of the other three. Therefore, option D, cow, is structurally the odd one out.
Question 7 is another odd one out, but with numbers.
Yeah.
A10, B20, C30, D45.
Again, look for the unifying mathematical property. 10, 20, and 30 all share the property of being perfectly divisible by 10. They are multiples of 10. 45 is a multiple of 5 and 9, but it breaks the multiple of 10 rule established by the majority group. Option D, 45, is the outlier.
Question 8 brings us to a letter series. We have to find the cluster that continues this sequence. CFI, then FIL, then ILO, and we need the next one. Options A, LOR, B, LMN, CKNQ, D, MOR. The overlapping letters here are making my eyes cross.
I know, it's a lot. Break it down into two separate mechanisms, the internal rule and the external connection. Let's look inside the first cluster, CFI. C is the third letter, F is the sixth, I is the ninth. The internal rule is a jump of 3 letters plus 3.
Oh, I see. And notice that this internal +3 rule holds true for FIL and ILO as well.
Exactly. Now look at the external connection between the clusters. How do we get from the start of the first cluster to the start of the second? C to F is a jump of 3. F to I is a jump of 3. So the starting letter of our answer must be 3 letters after I.
Well, I is the 9th letter. +3 is 12, which is L.
Yep. Now we apply our internal +3 rule to L. L +3 is O. O +3 is R. We assemble those pieces and get LOR, which is option A.
That step-by-step breakdown makes it so much less intimidating. Let's look at question 9. It's a number series. 4, 8, 16, 32, and then a blank. The options are A, 64, B, 48, C, 56, D, 60. I can clearly see a geometric progression here.
Precisely. You are analyzing the delta between the numbers. 4 to 8 isn't just adding 4, because 8 to 16 adds 8. The mathematical mechanism is multiplication. The previous number is multiplied by a constant factor of 2.
So 32 multiplied by 2 yields 64. Option A is your answer.
Right. Now here is where the test makers get sneaky. Question 10. The series is 2, 3, 5, 7, 11 blank. Options are A13, B12, C14, D15.
Wait, if I am rushing, I see 3, 5, 7, 11, and my brain immediately screams, these are odd numbers. The next odd number is 13.
And you would accidentally arrive at the correct answer through entirely faulty logic. But what if the options didn't include 13? The odd number theory falls apart the second you look at the very first number in the sequence. 2 is an even number, so it absolutely cannot be a series of odd numbers.
Oh, wow. So what is the unique mathematical definition that binds 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11?
They are prime numbers. They share the unique property of being divisible only by 1 in themselves. The next prime number in sequence after 11 is 13, option A. You must always verify your theory against every single element in the series.
Such good tip. Question 11 is another series, 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, blank. Options are A21, B20, C18, D24.
Let's investigate the deltas again. From 1 to 3, the difference is +2. From 3 to 6, the difference is +3. From 6 to 10, it's +4. From 10 to 15, it's +5.
So the mechanism here is that the amount you add increases by exactly 1 at each step.
Right. These are known geometrically as triangular numbers. Think of how bowling pins are set up. To find the next number, we take the last delta, which was +5, increase it to +6, and add it to our last number. 15 plus 6 is 21, option A.
Question 12 goes in the other direction. 100, 90, 81, 73, 66, blank. Options are A60, B62, C58, D64.
It's the inverse of the previous logic. Let's map the subtraction. 100 to 90 is a drop of 10. 90 to 81 is a drop of 9. 81 to 73 drops by 8. 73 to 66 drops by 7.
The value we are subtracting is decreasing by 1 each time.
Exactly. Following this mechanism, the next subtraction must be 6. 66 minus 6 leaves us squarely at 60. Option A.
We're moving into coding and decoding. Question 13. In a certain code language, RING is written as SJOH. How is Bell written in that same code? Options are A, CFMM, B, CFML, C, CEMM, D, CFNM.
This is where writing the alphabet on your scratch paper pays off again. You align the target word above the coded word and look for the phonetic or positional shift. R shifts to S, which is +1, I shifts to J, +1, N shifts to O, +1, G shifts to H, +1.
Now, the mechanism is a uniform +1 shift.
Right. We apply this rigidly to Bell. B becomes C, E becomes F, L becomes M, and the second L also becomes M. The result is CFMM, option A.
Question 14 gets mathematical with the alphabet. If A equals 1, B equals 2, all the way down to Z equals 26, what is the sum of the position values of the letters of the word DOG? Options are A26, B24, C28, D22. This is exactly why writing the alphabet with corresponding numbers before the timer starts is my favorite tip. You don't want to be counting on your fingers during the test.
It completely reduces your cognitive load. Your brain RAM is precious. Offload it to the paper. Using that reference sheet, D is the 4th letter, O is the 15th letter, G is the 7th letter. The prompt asks for the sum 4 plus 15 is 19. 19 plus 7 equals 26, option A.
Perfect. Question 15. In a code language, plant E is written as OKZMS. How is grape E written in that code? Options are A, FQZOD, B, FQYOD, C, FPZOD, D, FQZNND.
Let's decode the mechanism. P shifting to O means moving backward 1 space in the alphabet, so -1. L to K is -1. A to Z requires you to conceptualize the alphabet as a continuous loop, wrapping backward from A to Z, so that's -1, N to M is -1, T to S is -1.
So the entire rule is a -1 shift.
Yes. Applying this to G or AP, G -1 is F, R -1 is Q, A wraps backward to Z. P -1 is O, E -1 is D. Put it together and you get FQZOD, which is option A.
Okay, let's untangle some blood relations. Question 16. Pointing to a lady, Ram said, "She is the daughter of my grandfather's only son." How is the lady related to Ram? The distractors are A, sister, B, mother, C, aunt, D, cousin. These always sound like riddles.
They do, and the trick is to work backward from the perspective of the speaker, substituting complex phrases with simple identities. Start with the phrase, my grandfather's only son. Think about your own family structure. If your grandfather has only one son, that son can only be your father.
Right.
So we cross out that whole complex phrase and replace it with my father. Now read the rest of the sentence. She is the daughter of my father. Who is the female child of your father in relation to you?
She's your sister, option A.
Exactly. Let's do another one to cement that. Question 17. P is the mother of Q. Q is the father of R. How is P related to R? Options are A, grandmother, B, mother, C, aunt, D, sister.
Okay, so map it generationally, starting from the target R.
Right. Imagine you are, Q is the father of R, so Q is your dad. The first clue says P is the mother of Q. That means P is your dad's mother. In standard family relations, the mother of your father is your paternal grandmother. Option A.
The distractors try to confuse the generations or maternal-paternal lines, but mapping it step by step removes the ambiguity.
Totally.
Moving to spatial directions. Question 18. A man walks 9 meters towards south, turns left, and walks 12 meters. How far is he from the starting point? Options are A, 15 meters, B, 21 meters, C, 3 meters, D, 18 meters. Now, a trap here would be to just add 9 and 12 and say 21.
Right, exactly. Option B, 21 meters, is the total distance traveled. But the question asks how far he is from the starting point, which implies the shortest linear distance, the displacement. Draw a quick sketch. He goes south, drawing a vertical line of 9. He turns left, which relative to facing south means he goes east, drawing a horizontal line of 12.
Because south and east are perpendicular, he has just walked the 2 legs of a right-angled triangle.
Right. We need to find the hypotenuse. We use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. 9 squared is 81. 12 squared is 144. Add them together to get 225.
The square root of 225 is 15. The direct distance is 15 meters. Option A.
Perfect. Question 19 tests our mental clocks. It is 9 o'clock. Through how many degrees will the hour hand rotate when the clock shows 12 o'clock? Options are A, 90 degrees, B, 120 degrees, C, 60 degrees, D, 180 degrees. I can kind of just visualize a clock face and see that from 9 to 12 forms an L shape, a right angle.
Your visual intuition serves you well there, giving you 90 degrees. But let's explain the underlying mathematical mechanism so you can solve this even if the time is obscure, like from 2 to 7.
A clock face is a perfect circle, which means it consists of 360 degrees. The hour hand takes exactly 12 hours to complete one full rotation around that circle. If we divide 360 degrees by 12 hours, we discover the mechanical constant. The hour hand moves exactly 30 degrees every single hour.
Oh, that makes it so easy. The time elapsed between 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock is 3 hours. Multiply those 3 hours by our constant of 30 degrees per hour, and we arrive precisely at 90 degrees. Option A.
That is a great tool for the mental toolkit. Let's look at ranking. Question 20. In a row of 20 girls, Maina is 6th from the right end. What is her position from the left end? Options are A 15th, B 14th, C 16th, D 13th. My instinct is just to subtract 6 from 20 and get 14.
Which is exactly why 14th is sitting right there as option B. It's a massive trap based on how humans intuitively count. If you just take 20 total spots and subtract the 6 spots on the right, you have effectively removed Mina from the row entirely. You're only left with the people to her left.
Ah, right. To find her actual position, you must add her back into the count. The universal formula for this is total number minus known position plus 1. So 20 minus 6 is 14. Add 1 to include Mina, and her position from the left is 15th. Option A.
Good to know. Question 21 involves height comparisons. 4 friends are of different heights. Raju is taller than Sita, but shorter than Tina. Tina is shorter than Uma, who is the tallest. Options are A, Uma, B, Tina, C, Raju, D, Sita.
When you encounter these, don't try to hold all the relationships in your head. Write them down using simple inequality symbols, like greater than signs. Let's parse the sentences. Raju is taller than Sita. Write R is greater than S. Next, Raju is shorter than Tina. This means Tina is taller than Raju. We can chain this onto our first statement. T is greater than R is greater than S.
Okay, and finally, Tina is shorter than Uma. This means Uma is taller than Tina. Let's chain it all together. U is greater than T is greater than R is greater than S.
Exactly. The person at the far left of our greater than chain is Uma. She is definitively the tallest. Option A.
Question 22 dives into the strange world of syllogisms. Statements. All pens are blue. Some blue things are bright. Conclusions I. Some pens may be bright. 2. All blue things are pens. Options are A. Only I follows. B. Only 2 follows. C. Both follow. D. Neither follows. This is where you really have to leave reality at the door.
Absolutely. You must evaluate these strictly based on the artificial universe created by the statements. Let's look at conclusion 1. Some pens may be bright. Pay intense attention to the modal verb may. It implies a mathematical possibility, not a certainty.
We know that the set of pens exists entirely within the larger set of blue things.
We also know that a portion of the blue things set overlaps with the bright set. It is therefore entirely logically possible that the pens subset overlaps with the bright subset. Because it says may be, conclusion A is a valid logical possibility.
Okay, what about conclusion 2?
Now look at conclusion 2. All blue things are pens. The original statement only gave us information in one direction. All pens are blue. You cannot logically reverse a universal affirmative statement. It's like saying all apples are fruits, therefore all fruits are apples. It's a logical fallacy. So conclusion 2 is invalid. Therefore, only conclusion I follows. Option A.
Fascinating. Question 23 is a different type of logic. Statement, conclusion. Statement, save water, every drop counts. Conclusions I, water should not be wasted. 2, water is a valuable resource. Options. A, both follow. B, only I follows. C, only 2 follows. D, neither follows.
Here, we are looking for the underlying logical implications of the statement. The imperative phrase save water is a direct directive that logically implies its inverse, that the resource in question should not be wasted. That perfectly validates conclusion 1.
And the second clause, every drop counts, is an idiom implying that even the smallest amount has significant worth or utility.
Which logically validates conclusion 2, that water is a valuable resource. Both conclusions are natural, direct derivations of the premise. Therefore, option A, both follow, is correct.
Question 24 presents a Venn diagram scenario mathematically. In a class of 50 students, 28 play chess, 24 play carom, and 12 play both. How many play only chess? Options are A16, B12, C20, D24.
This question is designed to test your reading comprehension as much as your math. The critical keyword is the word only. The prompt tells us that 28 students play chess, but that number represents the entire circle in a Venn diagram. It includes students who play chess, but also happen to play carom on the side.
We need to isolate the purists, the ones who play exclusively chess.
To find that, we take the total number of chess players, which is 28, and subtract the overlapping intersection, the students who play both, which is 12. 28 minus 12 leaves us with 16 students who play only chess. Option A.
We've arrived at question 25, the final hurdle for the reasoning section. Symbol substitution. If plus means divide, divide means multiply, multiply means minus, and minus means plus, then solve this equation. 36 plus 6 multiply 2 divide 3 minus 4 equals what? Options are A4, B8, C6, D10. The cognitive load of swapping these symbols while doing the math seems designed to make you fail.
That is precisely the intention. It strains your working memory. The mechanism to defeat it is to never do the substitution and the math simultaneously. Step 1. Rigidly rewrite the entire equation on your scratch paper with the newly substituted signs. Do not calculate anything yet. Just write 36 divided by 6 minus 2 multiplied by 3 plus 4.
Okay, then step 2 is Bode DMNS.
Apply Bode MES brackets, orders, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. We must perform the division and multiplication before any addition or subtraction. 36 divided by 6 is 6. 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. Now rewrite the simplified equation 6 minus 6 plus 4. 6 minus 6 is 0. 0 plus 4 leaves us with 4. Option A is the correct answer.
Take a breath. We are through section A. We are immediately moving into section B, general awareness. That's questions 26 through 50. What's the strategy here?
Total unapologetic speed. This section tests factual recall. The advisory is brutal but true. You either know it or you don't. Staring at a history question for 3 minutes will not magically make the answer appear in your brain.
Your goal is to fly through these 25 questions in maybe 5 to 7 minutes. You want to bank all that extra time for the complex calculations waiting for you in the quantitative aptitude section.
Let's test that speed. Question 26. Who was the first woman president of India? Options are A. Pradeepa Patil, B. Indira Gandhi, C. Sarojini Naidu, D. Draupadi Murmu.
The correct answer is option A, Pradeepa Patil. She served as the 12th president of India from 2007 to 2012. The distractors are famous female figures. Indira Gandhi was the first female prime minister. Sarojini Naidu was the first female governor, but Patil holds the presidential milestone.
Question 27. In which year was the Battle of Buxar fought? A. 1764, B. 1757, C. 1857, D. 1739.
The answer is A, 1764. While the Battle of Plassey in 1757, which is a distractor here, gets a lot of historical attention, it was the Battle of Buxar in 1764 that actually changed the economic fate of the subcontinent.
Right. The victory allowed the British East India Company to secure the Diwani rights, the right to collect taxes in Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa, fundamentally shifting them from traders to territorial administrators.
Question 28. Which Mauryan emperor embraced Buddhism after the Kalinga War? A. Ashoka, B. Chandragupta Maurya, C. Bindusara, D. Harsha.
This is one of the most significant psychological and political pivots in ancient history. The answer is A. Ashoka. The Kalinga War was a conquest of unprecedented brutality.
The sheer scale of the disruption, over 100,000 dead, deeply traumatized Ashoka.
He fundamentally changed his state policy, renouncing military conquest in favor of spreading principles of Dhamma, or ethical conduct and nonviolence, which he inscribed on his famous rock edicts.
Question 29. The non-cooperation movement was launched by Mahatma Gandhi in which year? A. 1920, B. 1930, C. 1942, D. 1919.
It was launched in A. 1920. This was a critical turning point in the independence struggle. Before this, resistance was often limited to the elite or took the form of localized protests.
A non-cooperation movement was the first massive nationwide campaign urging everyday Indians to systematically withdraw all cooperation from the British government, boycotting schools, courts, and foreign-made clothing.
Shifting to the Constitution. Question 30. Which article of the Constitution makes the right to education a fundamental right? A. Article 21A, B. Article 19, C. Article 25, D. Article 31.
The answer is option A, Article 21A. The mechanism behind this is crucial to know. This wasn't in the original Constitution. It was added by the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act in 2002.
Right. It elevated education from a directive principle to a legally enforceable fundamental right, guaranteeing free and compulsory education for all children between the ages of 6 and 14.
Question 31. How many years does a Lok Sabha normally last, referring to its term? A, 5 years, B, 6 years, C, 4 years, D, 3 years.
The normal operational term is A, 5 years. This timeline is calculated from the exact date appointed for its very first sitting. While it can be dissolved earlier by the president or theoretically extended during a declared national emergency, the standard constitutionally mandated term is 5 years.
Question 32. What is the minimum age required to become a member of the Lok Sabha? A, 25 years, B, 21 years, C, 30 years, D, 35 years. I might think 30 because it feels like a mature age for a politician.
And that's exactly why 30 is sitting there as a distractor. To run for the Lok Sabha, the lower house, the House of the People, the minimum age is 25 years. Option A.
For context, the framers of the Constitution wanted the Rajya Sabha, the upper house, to be a house of elders in review, which is why its minimum age is set higher at 30 years.
Question 33. Who appoints the governor of a state in India? A, the president, B, the prime minister, C, the chief minister, D, the chief justice.
The correct answer is A, the president. The mechanism of Indian federalism dictates that the governor acts as the vital constitutional link between the state and the central government.
They are appointed directly by the president by warrant under his hand and seal, and legally speaking, they hold office purely during the pleasure of the president.
Let's move to geography. Question 34. Which river is historically known as the Sorrow of Bengal? A, Damodar, B, Kosi, C, Yamuna, D, Tapi.
The answer is A, the Damodar River. Understanding why it earned this grim title is important. Before the mid-20th century, the heavy monsoon rains would cause the river to unpredictably burst its banks, causing catastrophic flash floods that devastated the agricultural plains of Bengal.
This only changed with the massive engineering projects of the Damodar Valley Corporation, which built dams to control the flow.
Question 35. Which is the longest river in the world? A, Nile, B, Amazon, C, Ganga, D, Yangtze.
Geographically measured from source to mouth, the Nile River in Africa holds the definitive title of the longest river in the world. Option A.
It's important to differentiate this from the Amazon. The Amazon is the largest river by a massive margin when measuring the sheer volume of water it discharges into the ocean. But the Nile wins on pure linear length.
Question 36. Which is the largest brackish water lagoon in India? A, Chilika Lake, B, Wooler Lake, C, Dal Lake, D, Loktak Lake.
The correct answer is A, Chilika Lake, located on the eastern coast in the state of Odisha. The key term here is brackish.
Right. It means the water isn't entirely fresh, nor is it entirely marine. It's a delicate, fluctuating mixture of fresh river water flowing in and salty seawater from the Bay of Bengal, creating a unique ecosystem that is a critical wintering ground for millions of migratory birds.
Question 37. Which is the most abundant metal in the Earth's crust? A, aluminum, B, iron, C, copper, D, gold.
This is a classic science trap. The answer is A, aluminium. Now, if the question asked for the most abundant element, the answer would be oxygen, followed by silicon. But neither of those are metals.
Among the metals, aluminum dominates, making up about 8% of the solid surface of the Earth, primarily found in bauxite ore. Iron, the distractor, is more abundant in the entire Earth, especially the core, but not in the thin outer crust.
Question 38 dives into economics. In economics, fiscal policy is mainly concerned with a, government revenue and expenditure, B, money supply, C, exchange rates, D, stock prices.
The correct answer is option A. Understanding the mechanism of the economy requires separating fiscal from monetary policy. Fiscal policy is the exclusive domain of the government legislature.
It deals with how the government extracts money from the economy, primarily through taxation, which is revenue, and how it injects money back in, which is expenditure.
Distractor B, the money supply, is the domain of monetary policy, which is controlled independently by the central bank.
Question 39. What does the abbreviation ATM stand for? A, automated teller machine, B, automatic transfer machine, C, anytime money, D, automated transaction mode.
Anytime money is a very popular colloquial phrase in India, which makes it a dangerous distractor. But the actual technical banking term is A, automated teller machine. The name describes its exact function. It automates the cash dispensing job that a human bank teller used to do.
Let's test our hard sciences. Question 40. What is the SI unit of electric resistance? A, ohm, B, ampere, C, volt, D, watt.
The unit of electrical resistance, the measure of how much material opposes the flow of current, is the ohm, named after the German physicist Georg Ohm, option A.
To survive this science section, you must mentally map the others. Ampere measures the current itself, volt measures the potential difference pushing the current, and watt measures the overall power generated.
Question 41. Which instrument is used to measure temperature? A thermometer, B, barometer, C, hygrometer, D, seismograph.
Option A, thermometer, measures temperature via thermodynamics. The others are critical atmospheric and geological tools.
A barometer measures the atmospheric pressure, which predicts weather changes. A hygrometer measures the humidity or moisture in the air. A seismograph measures the kinetic energy of earthquakes.
Question 42. Which gas, being lighter than air, is used to fill balloons that float? A, helium, B, oxygen, C, nitrogen, D, argon.
The correct answer is A, helium. Now, the mechanism of a floating balloon requires a gas less dense than the surrounding atmosphere. Hydrogen is actually the lightest gas in the universe, and it was used in early airships like the Hindenburg.
However, hydrogen is highly reactive and flammable. Helium is a noble gas. It is inert. It gives you the lift you need by being lighter than air, but it is completely non-flammable, making it safe.
Question 43. What is the chemical symbol for iron? A, F, B, I, R, C, E, N, D, F, R. If I am panicking, my brain sees iron and really wants to pick I because it matches the first two letters.
And the test makers know that. They are baiting you into a phonetic association.
Mm-hmm.
But I is the symbol for iridium. The correct answer, option A, is F.
The mechanism behind this is historical. The periodic table draws heavily from classical antiquity. The Latin word for iron is ferrum, hence the symbol Fe.
Question 44. Which is the smallest bone in the human body? A, stapes, B, femur, C, tibia, D, radius.
The answer is A, the stapes. It is an incredibly tiny, stirrup-shaped bone located deep inside the middle ear.
Its biological mechanism is essential. It takes the physical vibrations from the eardrum and mechanically amplifies them, transmitting them into the fluid of the inner ear so your brain can process sound.
Distractor B, the femur in your thigh, is the exact opposite. It's the largest and strongest bone in the body.
Question 45. Which organ of the human body purifies the blood by filtering out waste? A, kidney, B, heart, C, lung, D, stomach.
The physiological filtration system of the human body is the kidney. Option A. Through millions of microscopic filters called nephrons, the kidneys constantly cycle your bloodstream, filtering out metabolic waste products and excess water, which are then excreted in the form of urine.
The heart pumps the blood, the lungs oxygenate it, but the kidney purifies it.
Question 46. How many planets are there in our solar system? A, 8, B, 9, C, 7, D, 10. I feel like this is a trap for anyone who went to school before 2006.
It absolutely is a generational trap. For decades, the answer was 9. But in 2006, the International Astronomical Union formally updated the mechanism for defining a planet. To be a planet, an object must clear its neighboring region of other debris.
Pluto did not meet this new criteria, and it was downgraded to the status of a dwarf planet. Therefore, we officially have 8 planets. Option A.
Question 47. Which is the smallest planet in our solar system?
Yeah.
Mercury, B, Mars, C, Venus, D, Earth.
Mercury is the correct answer. Option A. With the demotion of Pluto, Mercury took the title. It's not only the closest planet to the Sun, but it is also gravitationally the smallest of the recognized 8 planets.
Now for some static general knowledge to finish off this section. Question 48. Where is the headquarters of the International Court of Justice located? A, The Hague, B, Geneva, C, New York, D, Vienna.
The ICJ is the principal judicial organ of the United Nations. But unlike the General Assembly or the Security Council, which are headquartered in New York, the ICJ is located in the Peace Palace in The Hague, in the Netherlands. Option A.
Question 49. The Hawa Mahal, a famous historical monument, is located in which city? A, Jaipur, B, Udaipur, C, Jodhpur, D, Agra.
The Hawa Mahal, often translated as the Palace of Winds, is an iconic pink sandstone structure. Its mechanism was incredibly practical. Its hundreds of tiny windows allowed royal ladies to observe street festivals unseen, while simultaneously acting as a massive architectural air conditioner for the intense heat of Jaipur, the capital of Rajasthan. Option A.
And finally, question 50. Which festival is known as the Festival of Lights in India? A, Diwali, B, Holi, C, Onam, D, Baisakhi.
Option A, Diwali. It is universally celebrated across various traditions by lighting diyas, lamps, and fireworks.
The core symbolic mechanism of the festival is the spiritual victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance.
Halfway there, we are moving into Section C, Quantitative Aptitude. Questions 51 through 75. We saved up all that time in the general awareness section. How do we spend it here?
Very, very carefully. This is where time evaporates. The fundamental advisory here is order of operations. Tackle the straightforward arithmetic, the percentages, and the basic algebra first.
If you encounter a complex 3D geometry problem that requires 3 separate formulas, skip it and save it for the very end. And a practical tip, organize your scratch paper. So many candidates lose marks to silly transcription errors simply because they misread their own chaotic handwriting during a calculation.
Let's test that arithmetic with percentages and ratios. Question 51. What is 75% of 160? A 120, B 100, C 140, D 90. If I try to multiply 0.75 by 160 on paper, I'm going to waste 20 seconds.
Which is why you must use the fraction shortcut. Percentages are just fractions out of 100. 75% is 75 over 100, which simplifies to exactly 3/4, or 3 over 4. Now, the mental math mechanism is frictionless. Take your number, 160, divided by the denominator, 4. 160 divided by 4 is 40. Now multiply that by the numerator, 3. 40 times 3 is exactly 120. Option A is your answer, solved entirely in your head in 5 seconds.
I love how that bypasses the decimals. Question 52. If 20% of a number is 50, what is the number? A 250, B 200, C 300, D 225.
Let's deploy the fraction mechanism again. What is 20%? It is 20 over 100, which simplifies to 1/5. The prompt tells us that 1/5 of our mystery whole number is equal to 50.
To reverse engineer the whole number, we just multiply 50 by 5. 50 times 5 is 250, option A.
Question 53. Divide RS 1200 between A and B in the ratio 2:1. What is A's share? ARS 800, BRS 600, CRS 400, DRS 900.
To solve ratio divisions, you must conceptualize the total amount as a collection of equal parts. The ratio is 2:1. This means A gets 2 parts and B gets 1 part. Therefore, the total money is divided into 3 equal parts.
First, find the financial value of a single part by dividing the total pool, 1,200 rupees, by 3. 1 part equals 400 rupees. The question asks for A's share. A gets 2 parts. 2 multiplied by 400 is 800. So A's share is RS 800, option A.
Moving to averages. Question 54. The average of 5 numbers is 18. If one number is removed, the average of the rest becomes 16. Find the removed number. A26, B24, C22, G28.
Yeah.
This sounds like I need to know what all the numbers are.
You don't need to know the individual numbers at all. The core mechanism of averages is an equation. The total sum equals the average multiplied by the counted numbers. Let's look at the first state, 5 numbers with an average of 18. The total sum of these numbers is 5 multiplied by 18, which equals 90.
Now look at the second state. 1 number is removed, leaving a count of 4 numbers. Their new average is 16. The total sum of this new group is 4 multiplied by 16, which is 64.
The removed number is simply the mathematical delta between the two sums. 90 minus 64 is 26, option A.
Question 55. The average of the first 4 multiples of 5 is A12.5, B10, C15, D20.
First, define the set. The first 4 multiples of 5 are simply 5, 10, 15, and 20. The standard mechanism for an average is to sum them up and divide by the count. 5 plus 10 is 15, 15 plus 15 is 30, 30 plus 20 is 50.
The total sum is 50. Divide that by the count, which is 4. 50 divided by 4 is 12.5. Option A.
Let's talk profit and loss. Question 56. A man buys a cycle for RS 1500 and sells it for RS 1800. Find the profit percentage. A 20%, B 15%, C 25%, D 30%.
The unbreakable rule of profit percentage is that it is always invariably calculated on the cost price, never the selling price. Here, the CP is 1500, the SP is 1800. The raw financial profit is SP minus CP. 1800 minus 1500 equals 300 rupees of profit.
To find the percentage mechanism, divide that profit by the original CP. 300 divided by 1500. Cancel the zeros to get 3 over 15, which simplifies beautifully to 1/5. As we established earlier, 1/5 is exactly 20%. Option A.
Question 57 requires working backward. On selling an article for RS 575, a shopkeeper gains 15%. Find the cost price. ARS 500, BRS 525, CRS 490, DRS 550.
Let's build the algebraic mechanism. The selling price is the combination of the original cost price plus the profit gained. If we represent the cost price as the base of 100%, a 15% gain means the selling price represents 115% of the original cost price.
To turn that into a workable decimal, 115% is 1.15, so mathematically 1.15 multiplied by CP equals 575. To isolate CP, we divide 575 by 1.15. When you execute that division, the cost price drops out at exactly 500 rupees. Option A.
Question 58. A book marked at RS 750 is sold at a discount of 20%. Find the selling price. ARS 600, BRS 650, CRS 620, DRS 580.
The mechanism of a discount is straightforward subtraction from the marked price. First, calculate the raw value of the discount. We need 20% of 750. Use our fraction trick. 20% is 1/5. What is 1/5 of 750? It is 150. The discount is 150 rupees.
Now execute the subtraction. The marked price of 750 minus the 150 discount gives you a final selling price of 600 rupees. Option A.
Let's look at interest. Question 59. Find the simple interest on RS 8000 at 5% per annum for 3 years. ARS 1200, BRS 1000, CRS 1250, DRS all 1150.
Simple interest requires applying the foundational formula. Principal multiplied by rate multiplied by time, all divided by 100. PRT over 100. Let's plug in the variables. P is 8,000, R is 5, T is 3. The formula becomes 8,000 times 5 times 3 divided by 100.
The mechanism of dividing by 100 simply cancels out 2 zeros from the 8,000. This leaves us with a highly manageable mental math equation. 80 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3. 80 times 5 is 400. 400 multiplied by 3 is 1,200. The simple interest generated is RS 1,200, option A.
Question 60 tests the conceptual understanding of interest. In how many years will a sum of money triple itself at 20% per annum simple interest? A 10 years, B 12 years, C 8 years, D 15 years. This feels like there isn't enough information to solve it.
It does feel that way, but you don't need to know the actual sum of money if you understand the mechanism of percentages. Let's say the original principal amount represents 100% of your money. The prompt says the final amount triples itself. This means the final amount sitting in the bank is 300% of the original.
Since 100% of that was your original principal, the interest generated must account for the remaining 200%. The question is now simple. How long does it take to generate 200% interest if you are earning 20% each year?
Divide the total interest needed, 200, by the annual rate, 20. 200 divided by 20 equals exactly 10. It will take 10 years. Option A.
Now for time and work. Question 61. A can do a piece of work in 12 days, and B can do it in 24 days. Working together, and how many days will they finish it? A 8 days, B 6 days, C 10 days, D 9 days. My instinct is to just average 12 and 24, but that doesn't make sense if they're working together.
No, averaging would give you 18 days, which means two people working together are somehow slower than A working alone. You must use the fractional rate mechanism. If person A takes 12 days to finish a whole job, his daily rate of work is 1/12 of the job per day. If B takes 24 days, his daily rate is 1/24 of the job.
When they work together, their daily rates combine. We add the fractions, 1 over 12 plus 1 over 24, finds the lowest common denominator, which is 24. The fraction 1 over 12 becomes 2 over 24. Now add 2 over 24 plus 1 over 24 equals 3 over 24. We simplify 3 over 24 by dividing the top and bottom by 3, which gives us 1 over 8.
This means working together, they complete 1/8 of the total work every single day. Therefore, it will take them exactly 8 days to finish the entire job. Option A.
Question 62 is a variation on that. If 10 men can dig a trench in 18 days, how many days will 15 men take? At 12 days, B 15 days, C 10 days, D 20 days.
This tests the concept of man days, the total volume of labor required to execute a task. The mechanism is multiplication. The total labor pool required is 10 men working for 18 days, which equates to 180 man-days of continuous labor. That is the size of the job.
Now the scenario changes. We have 15 men available to expend those 180 man-days. We divide the total work required by the new number of workers. 180 divided by 15 equals 12. Because we have more men, it takes less time, exactly 12 days. Option A.
Let's talk speed and distance. Question 63. A train covers 360 kilometers in 6 hours. What is its speed? A 60-kilometer rate, B 50 kilometers, C 70 kilometers, D 80 kilometers.
This is the foundational mechanism of kinematics. Speed is defined as the total distance traveled divided by the total time taken. The distance is 360 kilometers. The time is 6 hours. 360 divided by 6 is 60. The speed is 60 kilometers per hour. Option A.
Question 64. Convert 36 kilometers into meters per second. A 10 meters, B 12 meters, C 8 meters, D 15 meters. Now when I try this, I multiply by 1,000 to get meters. Then I try to figure out how many seconds are in an hour by multiplying 60 by 60. And I run out of time.
And that is exactly how candidates fail the quantitative section. They understand the theory, but get bogged down in the long-form calculation. There is a mandatory shortcut mechanism for this exact conversion. To convert kilometers per hour directly into meters per second, you simply multiply the speed by the magic fraction, 5 over 18.
Where does this come from? It's a simplified ratio of 1,000 meters divided by 3,600 seconds. Let's apply 36 multiplied by 5 over 18. The 36 in the numerator and the 18 in the denominator cancel out beautifully, leaving a 2. Now you just multiply that 2 by the 5 in the numerator. 2 times 5 is 10. The answer is instantaneously 10 meters. Option A. It takes 2 seconds instead of 2 minutes.
That magic fraction is going straight onto my scratch paper. Moving into mensuration. Question 65. In 25 kilograms of an alloy, copper and zinc are in the ratio 3 to 2. Find the quantity of copper. A 15 kilograms, B 10 kilograms, C 12 kilograms, D 20 kilograms.
This uses the exact same parts mechanism as the money division problem we did earlier. The total alloy is composed of 3 parts copper and 2 parts zinc. That means the entire alloy consists of 5 equal parts. We divide the total physical weight, 25 kilograms, by those 5 parts. That reveals that one single part weighs exactly 5 kilograms.
The question specifically targets the copper, which accounts for 3 of those parts. We multiply 3 parts by the 5 kilogram per part. 3 times 5 equals 15 kilograms. Option A.
Question 66. Find the perimeter of a square whose side is 11 centimeters. A, 44 centimeter, B, 121 centimeters, C, 33 centimeters, D, 22 centimeters. Now, I see 11 and I see 121 in the options. I know 11 squared is 121.
And that is the exact cognitive trap they've built. You are conflating 2 different geometric mechanisms. Squaring the side gives you the area, the 2-dimensional space inside the square, but the question asks for the perimeter, which is the linear distance around the outside edge.
A square has 4 sides of equal length. The mechanism for perimeter is simply adding those 4 sides together, or multiplying the side length by 4. 4 multiplied by 11 is 44 centimeters. Option A. You must read the geometric prompt carefully.
Question 67 introduces circles. Find the circumference of a circle whose radius is 21 centimeters. Take pi as 22 over 7. A, 132 centimeter, B, 66 centimeters, C, 154 centimeters, D, 144 centimeters.
The mathematical mechanism defining the circumference, the perimeter of a circle, is the formula 2 times pi times the radius. Let's plug in the given values too, multiplied by the fraction 22 over 7, multiplied by the radius 21. The beauty of these exam problems is that they are structurally designed to cancel out.
Look at the fraction. The radius 21 in the numerator is perfectly divisible by the 7 in the denominator of pi. 21 divided by 7 leaves 3. The complex fraction disappears. The equation simplifies to 2 times 22, which is 44, multiplied by the remaining 3. 44 times 3 equals 132. The circumference is 132 centimeters, option A.
Question 68 moves us into 3D space. Find the volume of a cuboid with length 7 centimeters, breadth 3 centimeters, and height equal centimeters. E did 42 centimeters, Kavina 5 centimeters, C 12 centimeters, T 35 centimeters.
The mechanism for calculating the volume of a rectangular cuboid is pure sequential multiplication. You are finding how much 3D space it occupies by multiplying its 3 dimensions, length times breadth times height. 7 multiplied by 3 is 21. 21 multiplied by 2 is 42. The volume is 42 cubic centimeters, option A.
Question 69. In a triangle, the angles are in the ratio 1 to 2 to 3. Find the largest angle. 90 degrees, B 60 degrees, C 120 degrees, D 100 degrees.
To solve this, you must rely on a foundational geometric postulate. The sum of the interior angles of any triangle on a flat plane always, invariably, equals 180 degrees. Let's apply our ratio mechanism. The angles are in parts of 1, 2, and 3. Add those together, 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6 total parts.
Divide the total 180 degrees by those 6 parts. This tells us that one single part equals exactly 30 degrees. The question asks for the largest angle, which correlates to the 3 found in our ratio. 3 multiplied by 30 degrees equals 90 degrees. This confirms it is a right-angled triangle, and the largest angle is 90 degrees, option A.
Question 70. How many sides does a hexagon have? A6, B5, C7, D8.
This tests basic geometric vocabulary derived from Greek. The prefix hexa means 6. Therefore, a hexagon relies on a 6-sided mechanism. Option A. You should know the distractors as well. 5 is a pentagon, 7 is a heptagon, and 8 is an octagon.
We are nearing the end of the math section. Let's look at trigonometry. Question 71. What is the value of cos 30 degrees? A root 3 over 2, B12, C1, D1 over root 2. I have to confess, trig ratios always make me freeze up.
You are not alone, but freezing is fatal. You absolutely cannot attempt to mechanically derive these ratios using triangles during a speed test. It takes too long. Rote memorization of the standard trigonometric table is non-negotiable for this exam.
From that memorized table, the cosine of 30 degrees is exactly defined as the square root of 3 divided by 2. Option A. Write the table out during your prep until it becomes muscle memory.
Let's test that memory on question 72. What is the value of sin 45 degrees multiplied by cos 45 degrees? A12, B1, C0, D1 over root 2.
Let's pull the values from that mental table again. Both sin 45 and cos 45 share the exact same value, 1 over the square root of 2. The prompt requires the mechanical multiplication of these two identical fractions. So 1 over root 2 multiplied by 1 over root 2. Multiply the numerators, 1 times 1 is 1. Multiply the denominators, root 2 times root 2.
The mathematical mechanism of multiplying two identical square roots is that the root symbol cancels out, leaving just the base number, which is 2. The result is exactly 12. Option A.
Question 73 is basic algebra. If 7x plus 2 equals 30, find the value of x, a4, b5, c3, d6.
The mechanism here is the systemic isolation of the variable. You perform reverse operations to get x by itself. First, remove the positive 2 from the left side by subtracting 2 from the right side. 30 minus 2 leaves us with 7x equals 28. Next, isolate x by dividing 28 by the coefficient 7. 28 divided by 7 is exactly 4. The value of x is 4. Option A.
Question 74. What is the LCM, the lowest common multiple of 9 and 12? A, 36, B, 18, C, 72, D, 108.
The lowest common multiple is the smallest integer that is perfectly divisible by both numbers. We find this through the mechanism of prime factorization. The prime factors of 9 are 3 squared. The prime factors of 12 are 2 squared times 3. To build the LCM, you take the highest power of every prime factor present across both numbers. We need the 2 squared, which is 4, and the 3 squared, which is 9. Multiply them together. 4 multiplied by 9 is 36. 36 is the lowest number that both 9 and 12 divide into without a remainder. Option A.
Final math question, question 75. What is the smallest three-digit number divisible by 7? A, 105, B, 100, C, 112, D, 98.
Let's logically step through the multiples of 7. We know 7 times 10 is 70, 7 times 14 is 98. Now, 98 is indeed perfectly divisible by 7, and it is an option, but it's a trap. It is only a 2-digit number. The prompt demands the smallest 3-digit number.
The mechanism to find the very next multiple is simply to add 7 to 98. 98 plus 7 is 105. It crosses the threshold into 3 digits, and it is the very first multiple to do so. Therefore, 105 is the correct answer, option A.
We have officially survived the quantitative aptitude section. That brings us to our final stretch, Section D, English Comprehension. Questions 76 through 100. 50 marks on the line to close it out. What is the mindset for this final push?
My strongest advisory here is about pacing and trusting your intuition. In grammar and syntax, your ear will often catch a structural error before your brain consciously processes the specific rule. Trust your linguistic instincts, but always rapidly verify them against the formal grammar rules. And do not rush so fast that you misread the prompt. Do not accidentally select a synonym when it asks for an antonym.
Let's dive into vocabulary. Question 76. Select the most appropriate synonym of the given word. Quick. A, fast. B, slow. C, lazy. D, late.
The prompt demands a synonym, a word with an identical or highly similar meaning. Quick describes an entity or action moving with high speed. Therefore, fast, option A, is the direct semantic equivalent. Notice how the distractors slow, lazy, late are all grouped thematically around sluggishness or delay. They are antonyms placed there to catch candidates who didn't read the prompt.
Question 77. Synonym of wealthy. A, rich. B, poor. C, needy. D, broke.
Wealthy denotes a state of having an abundance of material possessions, capital, or money. Rich is the most direct and appropriate synonym here. Option A, again, the distractors poor, needy, broke are antonyms designed to trap the careless reader.
Question 78 switches the mechanism. Select the most appropriate antonym of the given word, accept. A, reject. B, receive. C, agree. D, approve.
We are now looking for an antonym, the precise semantic opposite. Accept means to receive something willingly or to give an affirmative answer to a proposition. The exact opposite action is to aggressively refuse to take or agree to it. That mechanism of refusal makes reject, option A, the correct antonym. The distractors are synonyms.
Question 79. Antonym of brighten. A, darken. B, light. C, shine. D, glow.
Brighten is an active verb indicating the process of making something lighter, more luminous, or more full of light. The inverse process, the mechanical reduction or removal of light, is to darken. Option A is the correct antonym.
Let's look at idioms, that I find fascinating because they usually have a hidden history. Question 80. Select the most appropriate meaning of the given idiom. To bell the cat. A, to take on a dangerous task. B, to buy a pet. C, to make noise. D, to run away.
Idioms rely on cultural mechanisms, and this one originates from an old European fable. A group of mice are being hunted by a stealthy cat. They hold a council and logically decide that the best defense mechanism is to tie a bell around the cat's neck so they can hear it coming. It's a brilliant plan until an old mouse asks one question: who among us is brave enough to actually approach the cat and tie the bell?
Therefore, the phrase to bell a cat is evolved to mean undertaking an extremely risky, dangerous, or seemingly impossible task for the benefit of a group. Option A.
I love that visual. Question 81. Meaning of the idiom in the same boat. A, in the same difficult situation. B, traveling together. C, good friends. D, living nearby.
This mechanism relies on shared vulnerability. Imagine you are physically in a small boat on a stormy sea with another person. Whatever fate befalls the boat, whether it sinks or safely reaches the shore, will happen equally to both of you, regardless of your personal differences. Therefore, the metaphor in the same boat means being in the identical, difficult, risky, or unfortunate circumstances as someone else. Option A.
Moving to spelling and fillers. Question 82. Select the correctly spelt word. A, C-O-M-I-T-T-E-E. B, C-O-M-I-T-T-E. C, C-O-M-I-T-E-E. D, C-O-M-M-I-T-T-E.
This specific word is a favorite of test makers because of its redundant orthographic mechanism. The correct spelling of committee features a sequential trio of double letters, a double M, a double T, and a double E. That corresponds to option A. You simply have to drill that specific visual pattern into your memory.
Question 83. Identify the misspelt word among the options. A, address, spelled A-D-R-E-S-S. B, balance. C, sentence. D, brother.
The mechanism of spelling errors often relies on phonetics betraying orthography. If you look closely at option A, address is spelled with only one D. While phonetically you might argue it sounds correct, the formal English spelling of address, whether referring to a geographical location or the act of giving a formal speech, mandates a double D. Option A is definitively the misspelt word.
Question 84. Select the most appropriate option to fill in the blank. She is fond blank music. A of, B for, C with, D to.
This tests your mastery of fixed prepositions. In English grammar, certain adjectives are structurally bound to specific prepositions. The adjective fond, when indicating a liking or deep affection for something, is invariably followed by the preposition of. The mechanism is fixed. It must be she is fond of music. Option A.
Question 85. Fill in the blank. Both Sita Blankita passed the test. A and, B or C nor D but.
This sentence relies on the mechanism of correlative conjunctions. These are pairs of conjunctions that must structurally work together to link grammatically equal elements. The word both is exclusively and permanently paired with the word and. You cannot say both X or Y. It must be both Sita and Gita. Option A.
Question 86 is a notoriously tricky one regarding articles. Fill in the blank. He is blank, European by birth. A, B, N, C, D, no article. Now, I learned the rule in grade school and goes before a vowel. European starts with an E, so it should be an, right?
And that grade school simplification is exactly why this question is designed to trap you. The mechanism for choosing between a and an in English is not based on orthography, how the word is spelled. It is based entirely on phonetics, how the word sounds.
The purpose of an is to prevent a glottal stop, that awkward clicking pause in your throat when you try to say two vowel sounds back to back like an apple. Now look at the word European. While it starts with the vowel letter E, the physical sound your mouth makes starts with a hard consonant glide, U, Y, U.
Because it begins with a consonant sound, there is no glottal stop to avoid. Therefore, your vocal cords require the article A. He is a European. Option A is correct. This is a vital mechanism to understand.
That explanation makes total sense. It's about the physics of speaking. Let's move to grammar and voice. Question 87. Select the grammatically correct sentence. A, she does not like coffee. B, she do not like coffee. C, she not like coffee. D, she does not likes coffee.
This evaluates the structural mechanism of the negative present simple tense. The subject is she, which operates in the third person singular. Therefore, the auxiliary verb must be conjugated to does, forming the negative does not. Furthermore, the rules state that when you utilize does, the main verb is stripped of its conjugation and reverts to its base uninflected form. So likes must revert to like. The only construction that satisfies both rules is she does not like coffee. Option A.
Question 88. Select the grammatically correct sentence. A, the scissors are on the table. B, the scissors is on the table. C, the scissors was on the table. D, the scissors has on the table.
This tests your knowledge of pluralia tantum, a grammatical mechanism where certain nouns only exist in the plural form. Tools and garments that consist of two identical joined parts like scissors, trousers, tweezers, or glasses are inherently treated as plural nouns in English. Because scissors is structurally plural, subject-verb agreement dictates it requires a plural verb. Is and was are singular, therefore are is the correct verb. The scissors are on the table. Option A. Question 89. Change the following sentence into the passive voice. He is reading a book. A book is being read by him. B, a book is read by him. C, a book was read by him. D, a book has been read by him. Voice conversion is highly mechanical. Let's analyze the active sentence. He's reading indicates it is operating in the present continuous tense and action happening right now. When converting present continuous to the passive voice, you are mandated to maintain that continuous temporal nature.
The passive mechanism formula is the object plus is or are plus being plus the past participle of the main verb. We pull a book to the front as the subject. We add is. We add being to keep it continuous. The past participle of read is read, so a book is being read by him. Option A.
Question 90. Change the following sentence into the active voice. The house was built by them. A, they built the house. B, they build the house. C, they have built the house. D, They are building the house.
We reverse the mechanism. The passive phrase was built indicates the simple past tense. We must find the option that reflects the simple past tense in the active voice. The passive agent by them moves to the front and becomes the active subject, they. The passive verb structure was built simplifies to the active past tense verb built. The subject becomes the object, therefore, they built the house. Option A.
Let's look at narration, or retorted speech. Question 91. Select the correct indirect speech. She said, I can solve this problem. A, she said that she could solve that problem. B, she said that she can solve that problem. C, she said that she could solve that problem. D, she said that I could solve that problem.
Converting direct quotes to indirect reported speech triggers a specific cascade of mechanical shifts. First, pronoun shift. The direct I must shift to the perspective of the speaker, becoming she. Second, tense shift, because the reporting verb said is in the past, the modal verb inside the quote must shift back one tense. Can becomes could. Third, demonstrative shift. Spatial or temporal words must distance themselves. This shifts to that. Combining all three of these mandated shifts, the sentence resolves perfectly as, she said that she could solve that problem. Option A.
Question 92. Indirect speech again. The mother said to the child, do not play with fire. A, the mother warned the child not to play with fire. B, the mother said the child not to play with fire. C, the mother told do not play with fire. D, the mother asked not play with fire.
This is an imperative sentence, a command, and specifically a negative one. When reporting an imperative, the generic reporting verb said usually changes to reflect the emotional tone or intent of the command. Given the context of fire and a child, warned is the most structurally appropriate verb. Furthermore, the mechanism for converting a negative command, do not play, is to change it into a negative infinitive structure, not to play. Applying these rules yields, the mother warned the child not to play with fire. Option A.
Question 93 is one-word substitution, a place where money is coined or made. A mint, B, bank, C, treasury, D, vault.
The prompt asks for the specific industrial facility responsible for the physical manufacture of currency. That facility is formally called a mint. Option A. The distractors represent different financial mechanisms. A bank stores and lends existing money, a treasury manages the overarching finances of a government, and a vault is merely a secure storage room. But the mint is where the raw metal is actually stamped into legal tender.
Question 94. One-word substitution, one who loves and serves their country. A patriot, B, trader, C, tourist, D, citizen.
The specific noun defining a person who vigorously supports their country and is prepared to defend it against enemies or detractors is a patriot. Option A. The distractors test your vocabulary boundaries. A traitor is the semantic opposite. A citizen is merely a legal designation of residency without implying emotional loyalty. And a tourist is a temporary visitor.
Question 95. Sentence improvement. Select the option that best improves the underlined part of the sentence. I have visited the Taj Mahal last year. A, visited. B, had visited. C, have been visiting. D, no improvement. I hear people say, I have visited all the time.
In colloquial speech, yes, but it violates a strict temporal mechanism in formal grammar. The crucial trigger phrase in this sentence is last year. This firmly grounds the action in a highly specific, finished, and closed period of time in the past. When an action is entirely completed in the past with a specific temporal reference, the rules mandate the use of the simple past tense. Using the present perfect, have visited, implies an ongoing connection to the present moment, which contradicts last year. The correct, simplified past form is just visited. The improved sentence reads, I visited the Taj Mahal last year. Option A.
We are on the final 5 questions. Question 96 is a parajumble. Arrange the sentences in the correct order to form a meaningful paragraph. P, she mixed the batter well. Q, she gathered the ingredients. R, she baked the cake for an hour. S, she poured it into a tin. Options are A, QPSRB, PQRSC, QPRSD, PSQR.
Parajumbles test your ability to recognize logical, chronological mechanisms. This paragraph describes the linear process of baking. What is the absolute prerequisite first step? You must gather your raw materials before you can do anything else. So Q must come first. Once you have the ingredients, the next logical action is to combine them. So P follows. Once the batter is mixed, it must be transferred to a vessel before heating. So S is third. Finally, you subject the vessel to heat in the oven. R is the conclusive action. The unbreakable chronological sequence is QPSR. That aligns with option A.
And now our final task, a reading comprehension passage for questions 97 to 100. The mechanism here is scanning for data. Then read the short passage first. The postman brings letters and parcels to our homes. He walks long distances in sun and rain to deliver them on time. His honest, steady work keeps people connected. Okay, question 97. According to the passage, the postman brings letters and A, parcels, B, books, C, food, D, clothes.
This relies on direct factual retrieval. You scan the text for the keyword letters. The very first sentence states explicitly, brings letters and parcels. You do not infer, you extract. The answer is A, parcels.
Question 98. According to the passage, the postman walks long distances in sun and A, rain, B, snow, C, wind, D, fog.
Again, deploy the scanning mechanism. Locate the keyword sun. Sentence 2 provides the data. He walks long distances in sun and rain. The extracted answer is A, rain.
Question 99. According to the passage, the postman delivers the mail. A, on time, B, next year, C, once a month, D, by air.
Continuing the scan of that exact same sentence, the passage specifies the temporal nature of his delivery to deliver them on time. Option A is the factually correct extraction.
And the final question, question 100. According to the passage, the postman's work keeps people. A, connected, B, divided, C, confused, D, tired.
The final sentence provides the thematic conclusion of the passage, explicitly stating his honest, steady work keeps people connected. The extracted answer is A, connected.
We did it. 100 questions, broken down sequentially, covering the logic of reasoning, the rapid recall of general awareness, the mechanisms of quantitative aptitude, and the syntax of English comprehension. A huge congratulations to you for pushing through this entire paper with us.
Absolutely. The mental stamina required to sit through and analyze a full paper of this magnitude is immense. But remember, the core advisory, consistent practice is what builds the cognitive muscle memory needed to beat that 60-minute clock on exam day. You'll start recognizing these mechanisms instantly, whether it's avoiding the odd number trap in a prime series, deploying the 5/18 speed shortcut, or trusting your phonetic ear on English articles.
I have to ask, as we reflect on these 100 questions across 4 totally distinct brutal disciplines, what is the real underlying takeaway for the listener today?
It leaves you with a highly provocative thought to consider. You just rapidly answered questions on three-dimensional geometry, historical colonial treaties, intricate blood relation puzzles, and the origins of European idioms, all under the simulated pressure of a ticking clock. It makes you wonder, does this exam actually test your raw intelligence, or does it fundamentally test your adaptability? Does it test your grace under pressure? The ability to violently shift your mental gears every 36 seconds without panicking is a survival skill entirely separate from just memorizing facts. Master the psychology, and you master the exam.
That is a fascinating perspective to take into your next practice session. Thank you for watching and following the winning strategies to solve various types of questions in all sections. If you enjoyed this presentation and found it useful, like it, share it with friends, and consider subscribing to our channel, Shandy Utosphere. Good luck.